I think for the benefit of our audience, there are a couple of things that you should know about how the Senate conducts its committees. First of all, we do it in a very orderly fashion with a great deal of decorum and civility. Any demonstration of either approval or disapproval coming from the audience is strictly prohibited. If, however, one time, I will tell you one time, sometimes it just comes spontaneously. But if it happens again, I tell you we will clear the room and y'all can watch it in the hallway on the TV, because we will conduct this business of this committee in an orderly fashion. So we are delighted to have you here, and we are glad that you are part of this process.
Madam Chairman, we have a problem in Tennessee. In 1978, this General Assembly passed the Education Professionals Negotiations Act. And as a result, one very powerful union has a stranglehold on public education in Tennessee. 92 of 136 school districts in the state of Tennessee are required to negotiate with one union. Every single teacher in a district with mandatory collective bargaining must abide by the memorandum of agreement negotiated by the union and the LEA, whether they are a member of that organization or not. I believe with all my heart that mandatory collective bargaining stifles teacher input. Everything must pass through the funnel of a hyper-partisan, politically charged union, whose primary objective is preservation of the union and its power, not the well-being of teachers and students. The Tennessee Education Association has proven itself to be an agent of the status quo and a fierce proponent for mediocrity. This is a very poor representation of our teachers. We can do better. Senate Bill 113 will remove the albatross of mandatory collective bargaining from our local school districts and allow for a more collaborative and productive working relationship between school board members and their teachers. Unfortunately, the opponents of the bill before you have labeled this legislation as anti-teacher. Nothing could be farther from the truth. I've read the propaganda that's been sent out by the TEA, and quite frankly, it makes me sad. The fact that the union places its interest above those of teachers and kids is reason enough to eliminate mandatory collective bargaining. Since 1982, it's been the mission of the School Board Association to repeal the Negotiations Act because it's costing them hundreds of thousands of dollars, and it is impeding their ability to enact meaningful reform just as we are doing here in the General Assembly.
Every time I've ever met with my local union, they've never once asked me to support any legislation that had anything to do with students or student achievement. Year after year since I've been elected, at every meeting that I've attended, they've handed me a piece of paper with a list of bills on it of things that they wanted me to support or not support that had to do with them, not with the students. It was something about whatever, about salary, benefits, whatever. And back to your question, what does this do for student achievement? I think this does a lot for student achievement.
I said, what does it do for students?
For students. Well, I think for students, they're there to achieve. So I think those are one and the same. If this is going to do something for students, it's because it's going to do something for student achievement. And when you brought up Race to the Top, my question is, why did we have to ask the union to get out of the way for us to be part of Race to the Top? Why were they there blocking in the first place? Why did they have to sign off? Why were they there to be included in the conversation and had to be removed from being in the way? So all this bill does, this takes away the things that they have traditionally blocked, and it just helps school boards, the elected representatives of their area. It helps them make sure that the union does not try to damage things like differentiated pay, merit pay, the evaluations, and so forth, and all of those things are listed.